just felt like maybe there was not a clear path to take.
That was an issue for my character too, so I meandered a lot. I was aimless. But it wasn't really clear to me. It seemed like there were two different exhibits, but I had to sort of work to figure that out by looking at the banners, which are somewhat subtle. So I just decided I would go in, I would use my right turn bias and go in that way.
What was nice is that I wasn't forced in a particular path. I could go anywhere I wanted to. I could go fast, I could go slow, I could go away from people. I noticed cameras. I don't know if that would be bothersome to some people. There were people walking in the gallery that obviously worked here, but they didn't interact with you unless you wanted them to, so that was nice. The middle area where there were so many photographs, I wasn't concentrating so much on the photographs as I was on the pattern of how the photographs were placed. Some of the photos in that first area had a child pointing a gun right at the audience that had a man holding a snake, and that was slightly intimidating because you tend to take things of people very literally. And so having the explanation of what the photographer, why the photographer took that photograph or what it was about, I think would have been reassuring.
When I went to the admissions desk, the admissions person did tell me that the one exhibit, it was very important to read the labels. So I have a vision problem, so I asked if there was a large print version, and she, told me how I could get it. But it is a 3-ring binder notebook, so I was very happy that it was available to me. But then when I got into that exhibit, there's one bench, if I'm not mistaken. I went left first. When I got into that exhibit, where I've been carrying my notebook around, there's one bench where I could sit down and read it in there. Then the second half of the exhibit, there's no bench. I don't know how a 65-year-old woman with some arthritis issues would balance the notebook.
So I had to step out of character a lot to read labels I found interesting, even if the print was really tiny. I don't know if they got this on camera as I was putting it on.
And today I was something that was very easy to relate to, a middle-aged person who is nearsighted, struggling with new bifocals. And so I just took my glasses off for the whole 20 minutes and resisted the temptation to put them back on. And it gave me a really profound appreciation for how frustrating that can be. And also some really good specifics about different fonts and even colors make and the impact that they have.
Well, I didn't take on a persona, but as myself, in my late 40s, I keep forgetting to bring my readers with me nowadays, and I'm finding that in low light situations, the smallest text panels in the Beloved Daughters I absolutely couldn't read, even really close up, because of the low light and the lack of contrast, and that they're screened or vinyl on the wall, and the wall's a little bumpy. So there was enough of that stuff going on that after the first one I went, oh, that's just too much work. And I'm here running the workshop, so it's like, wow, I'm not willing to do it, and surely other people are having the same problem.
Negatives with the dyslexia was there was very little text that I felt that I could actually get hold of and get a little bit out of it, and that there wasn't an audio guide. But yeah, the middle exhibit had the small photos with like 1 or 2 words in the image. And I felt that I could kind of respond to those. I loved the Beloved Daughters, just me personally, and the images were beautiful, but in the other ones, it was so simple. There was very short text, very large on the wall, and I felt able to kind of read those short bits and get involved. But the rest of it was just there was too much.
I think my character, the inattentive ADHD character, would probably recommend it if you were really, really into whatever the exhibit was about. But not just to go on a lark, because there's so much reading and I have a hard time concentrating on that. And so my experience of it seems very diffuse.
I found that there was a lot of text to read, so I can imagine a person not reading the text and just going straight to the pictures, and then maybe they're missing out on part of the experience. I went left because there was a big yellow wall which caught my eye, and then behind that was some interactives which I thought were cool, but I'm not sure if a person with hyperactive ADHD would have read the directions. Maybe they would just try to play with it and move on.
Yes.
I hadn't seen the hands-on stereographic viewer the first time, and my character needs to have interactivity, so I was playing with it and it fell apart while I was playing with it. And if I really didn't have an attention span, I would have been like, oh, you know, and left. But the camera happened to be capturing this moment, so I was obligated to stick that little thing back in. But in truth, I would maybe have not had the patience for that, I think. If I was feeling overwhelmed and now, oh, I did something wrong and I broke it, and I can't, and it's hard to get back in, and I'm losing my attention. And
seating. Loved one of the seats where you could read the label while you sat. And that was really nice. So you didn't have to stand too much, you could take a little rest. But as you said, when you get up, you know, you have to, you know, so, so there was no side thing to hold on to. But the seat was in a good location, and another room, the seat was in a fabulous location because you could see almost the whole gallery just sitting there and resting. And that was good. But then another room didn't have any seat. I would have liked maybe an extra seat in another room. No chairs in this room.